What's up, reptile fans? I got a very big boa girl here. This is my Motley albino het leopard girl here. She produced a nice little litter for us this year. Small one, but a good one, and hopefully maybe next year. Oh, she don't let me talk. Hopefully this next year she's gonna produce another great litter for us. I have some ideas of who I want to mix her with. She is responsible for all the Eclipse boas that we produced. The Eclipse is when you combine Leopard with the Motley gene, you get a solid black snake. I'm going to show you some of the babies and show you some of the stuff that she produced this year. But we produced a lot of good ones. We produced a couple of albino eclipses that just didn't make it. I have one left, but I had 6 of them and they didn't make it. But the regular eclipses that are all 100% het albino, they look amazing. We're going to take a look at what they look like. I have a couple leopard het albinos also available, so we're going to take a look at those as well. I've sold a lot of that litter just from doing videos on it because people love the way they look. But it's kind of cool. I love a real big thick boa like this because she's super sweet. She doesn't bite. Although last time I said that, I got bit in the face. She's a sweetheart, though. When I first got her, she had a very long pink tail, and I called her Pinky. That's what was her name. Her name is Pinky. And then as these boas get bigger, especially the albinos, they tend to fade out a little bit, and the patterns get spread out, and you really don't see them. Maybe we can see if I can get her tail down here a second. Can't really see that, but the bottom line is that boas are awesome. They're awesome when they're little because they're so colorful and it's so exciting to see all the new morphs. And when they get older, they become even cooler because they like to chill out, they like to hang out. I mean, this is a snake that will literally, I can go work on my computer all day and she'll just wrap around my neck and just kind of hang out there and play. And she's just a really, really fun snake. And I think that's why boas are so popular with a lot of collectors, because ball pythons have awesome colors, but boas have great personalities too. And they're very predictable. Once they get to know you and you handle them, they're just like mush balls. But they like to do stuff. They don't just want to just chill under a rock. They like to explore. But they'll hang around your neck for hours on time. And to me, that makes a very cool snake. All right, let's take a look and see what else we got going on here in the snake room today. Let's take a look at her litter she had this past year and maybe a couple other goodies. So Pinky, the Motley albino het leopard, was bred to a leopard het albino, and we produced some pretty cool stuff. This is the Eclipse. This is the Motley leopard, which produces a solid black snake. Minor striping. There's little degrees of striping like in all. This is pretty solid. This is 100% het albino. This guy is rock solid. I've sold a bunch of these. Here's another one. I wanted to show you a different expression of this. You can see this one has a little bit more brown in it. Now I'm going to take it outside. This is the experiment I want to show you. I'm going to take these 2 snakes outside and I'm going to show you how different they look. All right, here is the Eclipse's outdoor. This one I'm holding here in my hand needs holding. He thinks he's a black racer snake out here like we have here in Florida, except a lot smaller. Look how they move. Look how they ambulate. Look at that. Look at how they use that S and they project themselves forward. Well, we're going to keep them over here because I want to look at these guys. As you can tell outdoors, look at the pattern. It's a lot richer. You can see that the tails have some striping going on. Let's face it. What does Motley do? Motley takes the leopard, which is a dark morph anyway, recessive morph, or some people would say incomplete dominant, but the homozygous leopard is certainly a dark morph, and then the leopard makes it really dark to the point where there's no pattern, and it blacks it out, except for some of the striping on the tail. Okay, but you have no saddles and really no pattern, except this rich blackish brown type of thing going on here. Look, she just peed. He just peed. Now, let's get him out of the way. This guy's behaving much better. Because these are all het albino, obviously, if you breed these to anything that can make a leopard and albino, you can produce albino eclipses from these. You only need 1 copy of the Motley gene. Matter of fact, you don't want 2 copies of the Motley gene. A super motley is actually a black snake too, except it's a very defective black snake. It doesn't live long. Most people say it lives a couple months and then it dies. So you don't want to do super motleys, but the one copy of the motley with the leopard gene are very healthy, in my experience. They look super cool. And once again, I love leopards. And if you look at that face, that's leopard all the way. It's just the motley is just making it, enhancing it a little bit. And it's just bringing out the darks in it and the striping. I produced a bunch of these. I told you the albino eclipses this year, but they just didn't live. I don't know. They had big bellies, and I don't know if it's necessarily, I don't think there's anything wrong with the albinos. I think that albinos in general are just weaker. Because if there was anything wrong with the eclipse itself, you would have problems with the black version of it, not just the albino. So I think the albinos are just, the call albino line tends to have more problems than the sharp line, probably because it's more inbred. That's just, you know, general consensus. But, you know, I'm trying to outcross this year a lot more to bring other genes in anyway, so. But here's a great snake, and once again, I have one female left that I'm keeping, so I want to see a really big version of this. I think it'll look super cool. And once again, we'll contrast it with the IMG gene, but you'll see the IMG gene is a much blacker looking snake, but it takes longer. Obviously, it doesn't start out like that. It gets like that. Whereas this snake will always be this rich chocolate. It's almost like a chocolate color, really, is what it is. And to me, once again, it's just in amplifying. It's leopard all the way. I see that leopard face. I see all the leopard features, and it's just darkening up the leopard. So if you guys are interested, feel free to contact me. Once again, the best way to really view these snakes is outdoors, especially when it's like a slightly overcast day out here. The sun's really not shining too bright, and so we're getting much better viewing potential as my eclipse het albino runs away into the sunset. All right, here is a leopard het albino. This is your classic looking leopard. Really cool striping on the tail, just typical leopard pattern. That's a leopard head. That head looks familiar. It's because it looks like the eclipse head almost. And once again, when you add the motley gene, this snake turns black. This, however, is your albino leopard. This is a leopard with the albino gene in it. There's no motley gene in here, so we don't have an albino eclipse. Let me see if I can get a good view of the head here. This is the female. She's doing really well now. She started out slow, but she's eating well every week now. And she is, once again, leopard, the recessive, double recessive, albino, leopard albino. And once again, you can see, look at all the markings in the regular leopard, that's het albino here, and then look at her. She's got them all. There's just all the black is replaced with pinks and reds, basically. And that red head, because when you take that leopard black head and you strip away that black, you take it off, it's red under there. That's why this snake looks so red. So, two really beauties. One's this is the girl's a female. She might be available, deciding whether to keep her or not. And then that's a male. This is the reason why people decided to put the albino gene into the leopard. When you look at the belly of the leopard, you can see it's red. So you know there's red hiding in there. And when they at first added the hypo gene to the leopard, it turned the snake really red too. So everyone figured, put albino in there, let's strip away all that black, and we're gonna see a very red snake, and that's exactly what happened. And there's a quick view of the albino eclipse. Very weak eater. Sometimes she eats, sometimes she doesn't. She's got one eye that's a little messed up, so I don't know if she's gonna make it. This was the only albino eclipse that made it. That's an albino leopard motley. Beautiful coloring, right? I mean, I hope she makes it. Once again, she's kind of like gonna be a pet project for me, just to see if we can get her up and keep her going. But she eats sometimes she doesn't. And in case you guys might not want to spend the money or can't afford to spend the money on the visuals, you can get a double het leopard albino, which are beautiful in their own right. A lot of colors here. Once again, you can tell that leopard's in there. You see those little bow tie saddles, but this is 100% het leopard albino. I got a bunch of these available too. I've been selling these pretty quickly. People seem to like to get the components and make their own. It's really fun when you have like a regular looking or semi-regular looking snake pop out a cool albino leopard or something like that, or an eclipse. And so here you go. Here's the double head. All right, let's wrap things up today. I didn't think I was going to make today a boa day again. We had 2 boa days in a row, but the boa fans are going to love it. This is my sun glow. That's our hypo albino, and that's het leopard. This male I produced a couple years ago. You can see the bow tie saddles. There's his het leopard in him, and he became a daddy this past season. We produced that snake I showed you yesterday, actually, that beautiful sun glow het leopard, who is just like, well, that's a female. This is obviously a male. He has got gorgeous color, this guy. I just love this boy. You know, he's got, for a het leopard, he almost looks visual, but he's got some just amazing coloration to his body. And that's what you look for. You know, sometimes it doesn't even matter what the genes are. It's what you see, you know. When you have a visually enticing snake like this that has such great coloration and markings, you know you're going to make good babies with it. You know, it's like dwarfs. They worry about what does the thing look like. Let's take the best looking dogs, the best looking cats, and breed them together. I bred Persian cats for 8 years. That's what we did. We took the best looking ones. We didn't say, oh, does this one have a Motley gene or a pied in it? You know, those are cool if you can get that in it, but you have to also take the best looking animals, because that's what makes the best looking animals. So sometimes we get caught up, and look, I'm just as guilty. We get caught up in the morphs. Oh, I got to get this latest gene morph, this new recessive. I got to get this new, incomplete dominant. And we forget, maybe we should just be looking at what's really good about these animals, you know? And that's why the pastel genes in boas. In boas, pastel is not a recessive dominant type of inheritance. It's polygenic, meaning that it's line bred. It's just guys that have been breeding the same thing over and over and over for 25 years. Vin Russo with his Russo red line. He's just been picking the reddest boas and breeding them together. And he calls it the Russo red pastel. There's the flamingo pastel. There's several different lines, you know. There's the Coops pastel line. So there's a lot of different ones out there, and it's good to mix the polygenic stuff in with the morphs, because then you get like double action going on there, you know. I've seen some really cool flamingo albinos out there that just have so many reds in it, because the snakes are super red snake before you even put albino into it. That's what I'd love to get, the Russo red, you know, sterlings into my albinos sterling male that I bought. That's the goal. Imagine how red those things are going to look. You know, that's a ways off, but in 8 years from now, I'll be like, I told you so. So once again, have a vision, try to carry it out. Don't worry what about other people tell you. Pick the best animals, pick the stuff that you like, work with the stuff you like, and you'll never have any regrets. All right, I'm Dave Palumbo. We're going to see you next time, and that next time will be tomorrow morning. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your likes, turn on your notifications, and hit the like button. See you back tomorrow.